And it is game night for the Golden Knights as they get set for a big Game 4 of their second-round series against the Vancouver Canucks, of course, at the Western Conference Hub in Edmonton at Rogers Place. And the Golden Knights trying to take a commanding 3-1 lead in this series, coming off a big win last night, of course, back-to-back here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Dave Gosher, Shane Knighty with you on our VGK pregame report across. Thank you for joining us on all of our social media channels, so YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. And also a quick reminder for you fans, if you want to show your team spirit, get yourself a Golden Knights team license plate to show your team spirit. They're available wherever you live in Nevada. You can go online at dmvnv.com/plates today to show your Golden Knights pride and show everyone when you're on the road which team you root for. Speaking of the Golden Knights, Shane, a great opportunity for them tonight after a strong win in Game 3 last night. So they win Game 1 in a shutout. Game 2, not at their best. They come back last night, got through a rough 10, 15 minutes shorthanded in that first period, got out of the first with a 2-0 lead on their way to a 3-0 win.
Oh, opportunistic. It would be a good way to explain last game. They were able to capitalize early, a couple of quick goals. But that was Vancouver's best period, was period 1. But they came out of it down 2. The Golden Knights played so well with the lead. I thought they got stronger as the game went on. Second period was really good. And their third period, they did not allow much of the Vancouver Canucks at all. I believe in the last 40 minutes of play, they only allowed one shot within 10 feet of the net. That just showed how they're able to collapse takeaway areas. Penalty kill was instrumental in that first period. And attention to detail is the way Pete DeBoer described it. Attention to detail, and they defended so well in that game. So a lot of things they want to carry over. As we know, how the level of importance every game goes up so much. And this one, a big chance here to take a 3-1 lead in the series.
Yeah, the Golden Knights got themselves in some penalty trouble last night, Shane. Pete DeBoer touched on it, and it's kind of happened the last 2 games if you look at it. They've taken 10 penalties in the last 2 games. It cost them in Game 2. Didn't cost them last night, but especially in that first period. Take us through a little bit if you could. They're down 2 men. Sometimes you'll see a short 5-on-3. This one was for 1:18 last night. They were able to kill it off. What goes into that, and maybe some of the differences, the run-of-the-mill 5-on-4 you're trying to defend, what were they looking at on that 5-on-3 yesterday?
Well, the rotation, and you're going to be aware of the certain players for the Vancouver Canucks. Pettersson, Hughes, they're going to run it. Horvat's going to be in front. Besser's a shooter. Pettersson's a passer and shooter. So it's a matter of staying in the lane, staying compact. You don't want to run out of position and allow the easy play. Your goaltender's going to have to make saves. He made a huge one on Bo Horvat, a big center by the Leonard, and that's what you need. You're not going to have a good penalty kill without your goalie making a big save. That happened. They did a great job of not allowing the easy plays, passes through the seam, backdoor, or empty nets. And that's the key for the 5-on-3, and that creates momentum. That took a little bit of the wind out of the sails, as a lot of the shots, the majority of the shots for the Canucks, 9 of them came on the power play in the first period.
Yeah, Robin Leonard, fantastic, especially when called upon. Nearly half of his saves for the game came in that first period as he made 16 saves en route to the win. Let's kind of go through some of the goals that Vegas scored last night, Shane. You know better than I do. There's books on goaltenders. All 3 goals they scored last night up high on Jacob Markstrom, and all 3 really beauties when you think about it. Alex Tuck and Zach Whitecloud, and then a beauty from Mark Stone as well.
Oh, great shots when you look at all of them. And yeah, they would have had a book on Markstrom. You go through it, you break down every player individually, they break down all their team concepts, but you break down the goaltending position. And just some great plays by the Golden Knights. They obviously have looked there to try to go up high. Mark Stone on the power play. This shot could not have been placed any better. The only thing better than the goal was the Mark Stone reaction to scoring. Just fantastic shot by Stone. He's a guy you just love to watch on the ice. Takes his ice, little roll up top. Him and Pacioretty earlier on the power play were on their offsides. They switched to strong side on this one, and it allowed for a quick little play. Shea Theodore continues to rack up the points, picks up his 12th point. He's second in D scoring now in the playoffs, just behind Heiskanen of the Dallas Stars. And Mark Stone, what a finish that was, Dave. A big goal. That third goal, you got the 2 early in the first, but this one kind of sealed it. And that's what I liked about the game. They were able to continue to play. They didn't sit back. They added to the lead, and that finished it off.
Golden Knights scoring first for them this year in the playoffs. Knock on wood. They have been perfect, right? They're 7-0. They have shown the ability to come back in games, especially from 2-goal deficits. But when they've scored first, they've been lights out. You mentioned the play of Shea Theodore. Points now in 5 straight games, including last night. again and seems to be gaining more and more confidence. I know we talk about him a lot, but he deserves to be talked about a lot. The way he has played, coming out of even before the pause, but especially coming out of it, and now through what's been 11 playoff games.
Well, it's really been since December. We've talked about him a ton. Just a great, second half, 2/3 of the season. With good reason. He battled cancer in the summer, slow start, didn't get to training in time, so it took a little while to find his game, but you're just watching him evolve as a top defender in this league, offensive defender. And a lot of it that gets overlooked is how good he is defensively. His ability to skate out of traffic, his ability to make plays up the ice, to move pucks, to cut him off because he can skate. He has great gap control. And I think the addition of Alec Martinez has really been good for Shea Theodore. They really complement one another so well. Martinez, a savvy vet, very smart player, blocks shots, does a lot of that hard work, and they've played really well together. And Shea Theodore, that's the guy on the power play. Good little play up top. He's so good at getting his shots through to the net. His head is up all the time. He's also tied for postseason defense scoring lead with Hedman of Tampa with 4 goals. So we'll see if he has a little more here and can make it 6 games tonight.
We touched on another young defenseman earlier in the play of Zach Whitecloud, Shane. Pete DeBoer said after the game last night he thought it was probably the best game he has played in the playoffs. The goal was one thing, but his play defensively, a game high, what did he have, 6 blocks last night, paid the price. He was fantastic and continues to kind of mature right in front of our eyes.
He really does. And this is the natural progression you see of a defender. He's a smart guy, really intelligent, skates well, good size. Well, now he's learned the defensive side of his game. You can see the comfort level is just going up and up. The confidence grows with it. And that makes him jump into the play a little more. Good job following this up. He's ahead of the guy protecting him. The defender jumps into the play, loose puck, and a great shot up top. Said he saw that left side of the net, good screen, elevated the puck, and a beautiful goal by Zach Whitecloud, his second career goal. Both of them coming now in the playoffs, but it's not only that. You mentioned the 6 block shots. And how about Pete DeBoer, 5-on-3? Who's on the ice? Zach Whitecloud. So when a coach shows that confidence to a young player, it just grows. And I think this is really, we've seen Whitecloud getting called up, getting used to the league, and now throughout that pause, utilized it the right way to get bigger, got stronger, got faster. He worked out with these guys through all the phases when they got more and more. And there's a comfort level you have as a player when you adapt to the league. Now he feels like an NHL player, and you can see that in his play. Just a terrific game from him. He had 4 shots on goal, which is career high, 6 shot attempts. Hopefully that continues to grow. It's a good time to see a player like that elevating his game.
I'm always curious, Shane, when we talked about Zach Whitecloud last year. Remember the Chicago Wolves team that went to the Calder Cup finals? He and Nick Hague were their top defense pair, logged a lot of minutes as they went all the way to the final in the AHL. But you mentioned now it seems like he feels like an NHL player. And
it's hard to explain. I remember when
that
happened
tipping
for me.
point
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
You always feel there's always that danger. You're afraid to make a mistake, and that's a tough way to play a game when you're afraid to make that mistake. Now he just plays, and that turns when you feel like an NHL player. And I think that's what happened throughout the pause for Zach Whitecloud is, he's with the guys, and now he's staying here. He put in the work, gets a vote of confidence from the coach being in there, playing with a guy like Nick Holden. I talked about Shea Theodore, young guy playing with Martinez. I think the same effect has happened. Nick Holden's one of those guys that is a positive influence for a player like Zach Whitecloud that can reassure him coming to the bench. But, it is. There's been that change to his confidence, to his game. He feels he belongs. A lot of us see it earlier. We analyze, we watch the games, say that Zach Whitecloud's going to be a good player. But until that player feels it, then you can see him kind of turn his game in such a positive direction, and that's what's happened.
Zach Whitecloud, a real strong game last night. Robin Lehner, a real strong game as well. So he goes to 4-0 in his career against the Canucks. All 4 wins via the shutout. He was terrific, especially in that first period last night. But after the game, he was asked about the play of Zach Whitecloud.
No, I think he's been great ever since I got here. I think everyone stepped up and blocked shots today, but Whitey, he almost every game he comes up with a huge block, and I was happy to see him put one in. And he works really hard, humble, down to earth guy, and he's just a good teammate. So no, it's good for him.
Like Zach Whitecloud, who's obviously a real nice young man. We've had some time to spend around him, but earning the respect and the trust of his teammates here as a young guy in the league.
Oh, well, he certainly has. Soft-spoken, came in the right way. Guys recognize how hard he works, how much. There's a lot of detail. He's one of those guys that is a sponge. Just learns everything, wants to learn, picks things up. He loves to learn about the sport. He watches hockey, and you can see it in his game. How do you get to the NHL as a defenseman? Well, right now, if you want to play in this league, you have to be able to have puck movement, and he's been really good at his breakouts. That confidence to make plays to the open area. Rather than just throwing the puck away, he has the ability. He had that early on to hang on to it for that extra second or else get rid of it when he felt pressure and to make plays. Not just throw it away, but puck possession as a defenseman to create that clean exit out of your zone so you can get speed on the rush, you can jump up. And now you're seeing him join the rush a little bit more, which is it's been great. Just you want to see that trajectory still go up as he continues to grow as an NHL player.
Dave Gosher, Shane Knighty with you from Studio 31 as we get you ready for Game 4 between the Golden Knights and the Vancouver Canucks. Quick reminder for you, be sure to subscribe to VGK Daily. It's our daily podcast, and we'll have all the latest news, breaking news for the Golden Knights throughout the playoffs every morning during the 2020 run towards the Stanley Cup. You can be sure to find us wherever you normally listen to your podcast. So the Golden Knights in this back-to-back situation, Shane, up 2-1 in this series. We mentioned last night they opened the scoring with the goal from Alex Tuch. So 8 goals all season, already 8 goals in the playoffs, and just a terrific run that he has been on, including what he did last night.
Well, he really has. 7 goals.
7 goals in the playoffs.
That's all right, Dave.
Yeah, I'm predicting his 8th tonight.
Yeah, well, I like that. So he's gonna push it to a 5-game goal streak. You heard it here first from Dave Gosher.
Breaking news. The sun rises in the east.
He will hit his 8th goal. But that said, Alex Tuch, it's been terrific. And we've talked about this. We heard Pete DeBoer. He had a conversation with Alex Tuch. He said, nobody's going to remember the regular season. Injury-filled, tough for Alex Tuch, especially coming off a career year the prior season, in which he hit the 20-goal mark. Couldn't find his groove this year. Kind of got a reset. He hit the reset button, got in the best shape of his life. He used the time off the right way, and boy, can you see, he is flying. His straight-out speed is up there with the top of the National Hockey League. His goal last night was certainly a great example. It was a nice play by Nick Waugh. Pass doesn't always have to be tape to tape. When you have somebody like that, throw it to the open area because he's going to win that foot race, and that's what Tuch's been able to do. I also think he's really benefited from being in this bubble. He's a young guy trying to learn how to be a professional athlete. There can be some, distraction. His focus has been hockey, and I think he really worked on it throughout this and his play. This is the best hockey I've seen Alex Tuch play, and is coming at the right time for the Golden Knights. 14
goals in his playoff career, 7 this year. He only had 1 last year in that first round. He had 6 when they went to the final in the first season as well. But Alex Tuch has been on a terrific run, and Pete DeBoer, interesting that he mentioned this, Shane. He thinks the line of, when they've been together, Tuch, Waugh, and Cousins, has been the most consistent line they've had through 11 playoff games.
And I can agree with that.
Yeah.
And there's a thing. We call this kind of the X Factor line, coming into this series, because when you have a third line like that can produce, that puts up such a challenge for the opposition, for that coach, for matchups. Because you got your top 4D, and we know who they're rolling out against the Golden Knights. Travis Green, his top 4D, they're going to play against either the Stastny or Carlson line. His top forwards are going to try and match up. So that leaves this line that can score against guys that maybe wouldn't normally play, because Waugh, Cousins, and Tuch could be a second line on a lot of teams. They've certainly proved it, and their consistency, they haven't changed. These 3 guys really play off one another so well. The smarts of Waugh, he's a great two-way guy. He makes great plays. Big, strong, Tuch's speed, size, skill. Cousins, he's got a lot of speed. He's got that nastiness to his game. Loves to get in the heat of the battle. Loves to chirp, and he's got skill. He can make really good plays in short areas. So the 3 of them have just been able to work off one another. And Pete DeBoer, it's a big mismatch when you can create a third line like that and them have success.
Alex Tuch picked up his 7th goal of the playoffs last night, tied for 2nd most in the league. Only Bo Horvat of the Canucks has more with 8. Here's what Alex Tuch had to say after last night's win.
I can say that injuries were the reason. I can say I wasn't playing with Wazzy and Cuz during the season, but I'm just trying not to really think about the regular season, and I've always been focusing on the playoffs. And obviously we had a little bit of a break for me to get healthy, and try to get in the best shape possible and get ready for the playoffs. And I think that I was able to do so with the help of our coaching staff and my other teammates. My confidence boosted up during that time, and I just wanted to come in here and work hard for my teammates, and the productivity has followed along.
That line, Shane, of Waugh along with Tuck and Cousins obviously didn't even exist before the pause. You know, they picked up Cousins at the trade deadline. He got his feet wet a little bit with the Golden Knights before the pause. Nick Waugh had been back and forth between the NHL and the AHL. It's been well documented, Alex Tuck and his injury issues. But in a larger point, the third line for them all year had been a struggle.
Yes.
Right? It was, you talk about, mismatch problems for the other team. That really wasn't an issue for the opponents for most of this season. That has changed now since the pause, since the formation of this line and those three guys being put together.
Yeah, the depth of the team is just so much stronger. It strengthens the whole lineup. And you mentioned Nick Waugh. Everything I talked about Zach Whitecloud earlier could be said for Nick Waugh. Feels like an NHL player now. You can see the confidence in his game. Nick Cousins is a guy that's coming. We've seen him plugged in different areas. He brings a lot to this team. Came in late. And, of course, Alex Tuck. Everything he said is best shape. Focus on playoffs. Cousins and Waugh, that line being assembled. There's so many things. Biggest thing is just he's a confident player again, and that's such a strength. That's the number one thing, both individually and as a team, you need to have. And this team has it, and now their players. It kind of seeps through the team. When one guy's going, everybody gets a little bit. And right now, Alex Tuck has been the hottest Golden Knight.
Well, getting you set for Game 4 between the Golden Knights and the Canucks. Golden Knights win the first game via a shutout. They lose Game 2. Then they win Game 3 via shutout. We're going to take a look, Shane, of course, some of the bigger players for the Canucks, right, in the first and third games of this series. The Golden Knights have been able to keep them at bay as we take a look at a lot of the high-end talent that they have. And for the second time in 3 games in this series, the Golden Knights were able to keep them off the board.
And that equals success. When you keep these guys quiet, that speaks to how well the Golden Knights are defending, because you need to have the awareness. You need to know when these guys are on the ice, and you need to try and shut them down. And it's not just the defensive pair. It's as a unit of 5. Brock Besser, Forshaw, you can see it, Pettersson, Hughes, Miller, Horvat, throw Toffoli in there, who is so instrumental for them in Game 2 in that win for Vancouver. But the quieter these guys are, the better chance of success for the Golden Knights. And that's part of the plan. These are the guys that have been highlighted. They've discussed the video. Certainly when they do pregame scouts, when they go over things, they'll look at these guys, their tendencies. And I think Vegas has done a real good job. Collectively as a team, the way they've played in units of 5 in all 3 zones has helped. Last game, I think, was their strongest game. How do you, the best way to defend about these guys is don't give them the puck. Make them defend. And I thought the Golden Knights breakouts in Game 3 might have been the best we've seen in the playoffs. They were able to come out of the zone. There was great puck support. Puck support's not only when you have the puck, it's when you don't have the puck, to get into that area, especially in your own end. And it allowed them to come out and then attack with speed, get on the forecheck. That's the fun area to play the game. Play in Vancouver's end as much as you can.
When you look at that group of names, Shane, and you mentioned Tyler Toffoli into that mix, they combined for 9 points in the winning Game 2. Scored right off the bat. Toffoli back in the lineup for Vancouver, was an impact player for them, noticeable all night long. He had a 3-point night. Patterson had a 3-point night. I wanted you to touch a little bit on the job that the Golden Knights have done on Quinn Hughes. We talked about trying to make it hard on him, and I'll just kind of revert back to in my former job and in my former life. I remember when the Boston Bruins back in the day had Ray Bourque, who was a horse back there and built a lot different than Quinn Hughes. But my point being is teams would make it a point, in the playoffs especially, to dump the puck into his corner to try to make him pay a price every time he went back to get it. Now you've got Quinn Hughes, dynamic offensive player, not the biggest guy in the world, but the Golden Knights have really tried to make it a rough night for him on a night-to-night basis.
And I think the fact that the Golden Knights are such a quick team, it's one thing to say you got to go and hit, but you got to get to that hit. And I think because they skate so well, they're physical, they can wear it down. And it doesn't have to happen on one hit. It's over a period of time. Quinn Hughes played 26-22. He led all Canucks on ice time. Those are hard minutes when every time you go back for a puck, you know you're taking a hit. And he's a young player. You mentioned he's a dynamic offensive defenseman. He's going to be a great player for a long time for the Vancouver Canucks. Made a mistake. Carlson forced the turnover on the Whitecloud goal in the last game. But for Hughes, it's part of the game plan. I'm sure it's the same thing on Pettersson. Those type of guys, to try and wear them down, to hit them as much as you can. Finish your checks, clean hits, smart plays, but also the pressure on them. Back pressure when they're coming up the ice. Gap control. Don't allow time and space to their elite offensive guys like Hughes, and they've been able to shut them down. And I think for young players like Hughes and even Pettersson, when they can't get to their game, frustration starts to set in a little bit, and then mistakes happen.
If you're in the Vancouver locker room and you're Travis Green, the first game looked like they were a bit overwhelmed, maybe didn't have a lot of energy in their game coming off the big series win against the Blues. Much more like it for them in game 2. Last night, it seemed like they were pretty pleased, especially with their first 10, 15 minutes, even the first period overall. But what are they talking about as they get set tonight? Even though they're down 2-1, they're still right in the thick of this series and a chance to pull even.
Well, you always look at your previous history, and against the Blues and against the Golden Knights in Game 1, one thing Travis Green has said is he loves his team's response. After a loss, their ability to get back, to be better in that next game. They certainly did it against the St. Louis Blues. They did it in Game 2 against the Golden Knights. So for whatever reason, this young group of Vancouver players really has been able to fight back. They don't quit. And I'd expect them to come up with a big effort. I think the start to this game tonight is going to be very important for the Golden Knights. You're going to see Vancouver's best. They're going to try and press early. And that's just kind of been the way it's been for the Canucks. That's why they've had success. That's why they knocked off the Stanley Cup champions, St. Louis Blues, in round number 1.
And we can tell you here as we get you set for Game 4 that the Golden Knights will go with Marc-Andre Fleury in net. Of course, he hasn't played now in a couple of weeks, Shane, and Robin Lehner has really emerged as the go-to guy here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. But back end of back-to-backs. In the Chicago series, they played a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
Fleury went in Game 3, Lehner went in Game 4 on the back-to-backs, but only the third game in 3.5 weeks for Marc-Andre Fleury. But his last mental picture of a game, he was terrific in that Game 3 win against Chicago.
He was fantastic. He was the reason they won that game. Marc-Andre Fleury, 26 saves on 27 shots in that 2-1 win against Chicago. And, yeah, it's been a while since Fleury played, but he's been around. He's been in all situations, and he is competitive. You know for a fact that he wants to get in that net. He wants to have a strong performance. You know the guys in front of him want to play well. And you look at that game against Chicago. If it wasn't for Fleury, Golden Knights wouldn't have won that game. It was a huge victory, a huge performance by Fleury. He was excellent in net, gold pads and everything. It was a nightmare night for DeBrincat, who had 8 shots on goal that night, I believe. Is it 8? Yes.
You are correct,
I'm
sir.
correct. That's good for the memory. But, yeah, Marc-Andre Fleury, I expect him to get in early. It's been a while since he's been in game action. Sure, maybe a little bit of timing, practicing. I think a lot of people are excited to see Fleury take back to the net here and hopefully lead the Golden Knights to a big victory, as he's been waiting to play. Now he gets his chance, and as we said, you know how he loves to compete. He'll be ready to go.
Well, and I'd be curious to see, too, Shane, here you've got a guy, 3 Stanley Cup rings. He's been to the final 5 times. We know his pedigree, his time in Pittsburgh, but also quite obviously what he's meant to this franchise over the last 3 years. And now he's been relegated to kind of the second guy, if you will. But an opportunity for him now, hungry, eager to play, hasn't played in a couple of weeks, and in the bigger picture, a chance to put his team within 1 win of the conference final if they can come through tonight.
And what a huge advantage for a team to be able to use 2 goaltenders in back-to-back situations and have Lehner throw a shutout and then throw Marc-Andre Fleury with his history, with his you look at everything. It's 2 number 1 goalies. It's a phenomenal thing to have as a coach. It's a huge tool. And now he'll be ready to go. It's a strong performance. The guys, we know how much these players, when Fleury, they do it for Lehner too. They've played terrific in front of both. But for Fleury, they know he's coming in. Maybe they want to make it easy. That's why I think the start tonight's going to be important. I think the Golden Knights are going to be ready for a real good start to this game.
And if you look around other series and you wonder how important it is that you can rely on 2 goaltenders, take a look at what's going on in Colorado right now without Philip Grubauer injured. They're down 3-1. Boston Bruins are down 3-1 with Tuukka Rask leaving the bubble. The only team it hasn't really affected is Dallas, right? Ben Bishop unfit to play. Anton Hudobin's come in and got the job done.
Well, Hudobin was really good this season for them. They went with both.
But you
guys.
need 2.
But you need 2 goaltenders.
No
you need
question.
2 goaltenders, and you need depth throughout your lineup. The Golden Knights have that.
Well, the Golden Knights trying to go up 3-1 in the series. A reminder for you, make sure you get your watch party kit. Shane has one.
I do.
Yep, and he loves it. He loves all the items in it. Bring the spirit of the Fortress home during the 2020 Stanley Cup playoffs with the official watch party kit. Be sure to support the Golden Knights with your custom battle towels, along with noisemakers, temporary tattoos. Shane has a lot of permanent tattoos, and much, much more. You can purchase your kit today at the Arsenal or at VegasTeamStore.com as we get you set for Game 4 of this series between the Golden Knights and the Canucks. Hopefully it doesn't get to this point in the series, Shane. If they get to Game 6 and 7, that's also back-to-back, right? Yeah. That would be later on this week on Thursday and Friday. But the back-to-back, as we take a look at the rundown right now, we see already 3 games in the books. Game 4 tonight. They'll get back at it for Game 5 on Tuesday. And we don't know if there'll be any potential other lineup changes for the Golden Knights, be it up front or on the back end. The Golden Knights have gone with the same 6 defensemen for all 11 games so far they have played in the playoffs. But speak a little bit to, it's not normal. It never happens in normal times where you play back-to-back nights in the playoffs. But now you've got back-to-backs with these two teams, with obviously the Golden Knights coming off a win, but the Canucks having a chance to come right back and try to tie things up.
And it's a quick turnaround. I think it's so important on how you manage that game. And Pete DeBoer did a real good job of managing the time on ice with his team yesterday. And of course, he had the advantage because his team had the lead the whole game. So I think William Karlsson led the Golden Knights up front with 18 minutes and 16 seconds. But you look at the Vancouver lineup, their top 3, JT Miller, 23 minutes, 30 seconds. Elias Pettersson, 22:46, and Bo Horvat, 21:10. That's taxing, especially in a back-to-back situation. There are advantages with being in the bubble playing in back-to-back. There's no travel. You just walk back to your hotel. You're able to get sleep, get up. So there's a little more of that rest factor. But we'll see how much that plays into tonight's game. Last night's game, does it have wearing effects on some of those top players of Vancouver? Can the Golden Knights take advantage of it? That's what we're all going to watch and see.
One note from the bubble. John Merrill will be in tonight for the first time in the playoffs for Nick Holden. So, that D pair of Holden and Whitecloud, which has been real good as a third pair for the Golden Knights. But now you've got, you talk about hungry players, right? John Merrill, who hasn't played in, I'd have to look it up. Lord knows when, his last game. You mentioned the Golden Knights have gone with the same group here. But now an opportunity for John Merrill to get in the lineup. You would imagine he'd be paired on that third pair with Zach Whitecloud. But, yeah, so those are your changes. Fleury and net. And,
you'll be ready.
And Merrill in for Holden.
I've been in that situation.
Yeah.
Coming in playoffs, you're part of that squad. To come in, the excitement you have, it's great. You do everything you can to be ready for this call. And when it comes, you want to make sure you're ready. There's a lot of motivation. There's excitement for the players. Your teammates are excited to have you in. Of course, you like to stay healthy. That's just not reality in the NHL. So I think John Merrill is going to not only individually be ready, his teammates will be behind him, and him and Zach Whitecloud will come out. Now it's about performing. Everything he's been preparing for, now he gets the opportunity. That's what you want as the athlete. You want an opportunity to play, and play in playoffs is a special time.
So to stay sharp for him, what's that been like? You mentioned you've been in this where you don't play for a long time. What's that like, and how do you make sure you keep yourself ready so when the time does come, you are ready to go out there and contribute?
Well, there's a conditioning level to it. So it's, these guys would be training, not only practicing, training, and then extra drills. The battle drills are so important, simulating game action, especially for defensemen. One-on-one battles in the corner, battles in front of the net, boxing out, taking plays, reading the rush and the forecheck, breakout drills. So all those things, all those game scenarios that play out in practice, and then a little bit extras, probably conditioning, strength. I bet you he'll feel good. The legs will feel fresh. He'll be ready to go.
I have an answer to my question. The last game for John Merrill, March 9th in Edmonton, the last game the Golden Knights game played before the pause. He had played in a stretch of games. February 20th was a game against Tampa Bay, played, then didn't play for a little bit. So the last game before the pause. So it's
been a while.
5.5 months now, the last game for John Merrill. But he will get in tonight for Nick Holden. The Golden Knights trying to take a commanding lead in this series. The team that has scored first has won all 3 games so far. There haven't been big comebacks in this series that we've seen in some other series around the playoffs. And even, the Golden Knights got down in game 2.
You like their push in the second period.
Made a push, but
so
could
even
never
though they're
pull
down, and then a late goal by Pettersson in that second period kind of took all the wind out of the sails for the Golden Knights. But one thing I think Vegas has really done well, and if This speaks to an experienced team. This speaks to the good teams, their ability to play in different situations. Not every game is going to look alike. Yeah, you'd like to score the first goal in every game. That's not reality. Well, sometimes it could be, but very, very rare. I don't know if we've ever seen it, Dave. You can go in your history books. So you've got to know how to play from behind. You got to know when momentum shifts. How do you react? There's always little adversity. And I think the Golden Knights, we talked about round robin, round one. They found different ways to win hockey games. And then you build, in the back of your mind that you can win in every situation. So that's part of building as a team. I think they're comfortable whatever the score is, unless it's out of hand, which certainly we have yet to see. But that first goal, very important, but if not, there's no need for panic whatsoever.
What have you seen on the power play lately? So earlier in the playoffs, it was a struggle. They went 3 for 20 in the first 7 games. Now they've scored a power play goal in 4 straight. Other than scoring, what has changed? What have you seen?
2 units. I think the strength to have 2 units that can put the puck in the back of the net. There was times last night, and I'm not even going to say, let's say the Stone unit, because I'm not going to say 1 or 2. They've both been able to produce. They struggled their first time out. They're the ones that scored in the third. Little adjustment, Pacioretty and Stone. They have the ability to play other side on the flank with Theodore up top. And they switched it up. Stone provided the offense. Seen earlier, Alex Tuch, Riley Smith, just getting pucks to the net. Alec Martinez, it's a different setup with Schmidt, Martinez as shooters, William Karlsson kind of moving around, Riley Smith, Tuch. That unit's been able to provide. So I think what we've talked around, that you're not relying on one unit. And that makes it more of a threat when both can score, both can provide that offense you need with the man advantage.
Golden Knights up 2-1 in this series, trying to go up 3-1. Let's take just a quick peek, Shane, at some of these other series, right? There's already 2 other teams that are on the verge of advancing to the conference final. We'll start in the West. The Dallas Stars, earlier today, knocking off Colorado in what was another back-and-forth game. Dallas scores 3 goals in the first period. Avalanche come back to make it 3-2. Tough giveaway by a terrific young player, Cale Makar, in the third period for Colorado. But all that being said, you've got the Stars now up 3-1 on an Avalanche team. They pulled Pavel Francouz after he gave up, I believe, the 5th goal today. Yeah. So now you've got the Stars on the verge of going to the conference final.
And it's strange. Let's look back just for a second at the Dallas Stars. How did they get to this point? Their whole postseason switched in Game 4 against the Calgary Flames with 11 seconds left. They were 11 seconds away from going down 3-1 to the Flames. Pavelski scores, ties the game. They take that series. They win in overtime. That was the moment that switched all the momentum from the Dallas Stars. All of a sudden, they're this confident team. They're on the run. They're running with that momentum, and you can see it. Came in against the Avalanche, who everybody thought was just going to walk their way to the Stanley Cup, or at least to the Western Conference Final. And now all of a sudden, this Dallas Stars team that has struggled to score, their top guys, they've got depth scoring. So important. We talk about it over and over again, the depth of the team. And what's hurt the Avalanche, they got a little bit of it today, but they have not had the depth scoring they need outside of McKinnon on that top line, who's been terrific. Cale Makar is a great young player, Landeskog or Rantanen. But outside of that, Kadri, who is so big in round 1 for them, those secondary guys haven't stepped up for Colorado, and they find themselves in a tough position.
Yeah, they're on the verge of elimination. I think a lot of people felt going into this tournament that, especially after the round robin, that the Golden Knights and the Avalanche were the 2 best teams. They played for the top seed in the West. The Avalanche, they just destroyed Arizona in the last 2 games of that series by a total of 14-2. New opponent, so far much different results. They'll try to stay alive when they play Game 5 of that series. 2 series out east. The other team on the verge of elimination, the President's Trophy winning Boston Bruins, down 3-1. They play Game 5 tomorrow against Tampa Bay. The Bruins win the first game of the series. Tampa wins Game 2 in overtime. They dominated that overtime, right? They outshot the Bruins 9-1, win it in OT, win Game 3, win Game 4. Jaro Halak led in a shaky one yesterday, and now the Bruins staring at elimination when they play Game 5 tomorrow.
This Tampa Bay team looks like what everybody expected last year. That ran away with the regular season, but got shockingly ousted in the first round of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Well, they're able to get over that massive hump this season and beat the Columbus Blue Jackets. It wasn't easy. And then the Boston Bruins, they lose Game 1, and they found their game. The Lightning, Braden Point, in the absence of Steven Stamkos, Point, Palat, Kucherov have been so good for Tampa. Victor Hedman's, you can see why he's a perennial Norris Trophy candidate. The Tampa Bay Lightning are firing on all cylinders. Vasilevsky's been strong in net. I think the Tampa Bay Lightning, especially when they're doing without their captain, Steven Stamkos, they look very, very dangerous. We'll see if the Bruins are going to do the best. The Bruins feel they haven't gotten to their game yet. And part of that is the Tampa Bay Lightning have played really, really well.
Yeah, Tampa's 7-1 win, right, in Game 3. But so tomorrow, those two series we talked about, Game 5, Colorado-Dallas, Game 5, Boston and Tampa. The other series, which as we sit here right now, is 2-1 for the Islanders against the Flyers. That game they're playing as we speak, 1-1, about 12 minutes to go in the third period. But the Flyers got some of their bigger guns going the other day. Kevin Hayes had a couple of goals. Sean Couturier broke through. Claude Giroux still looking for his first goal of the playoffs, but against an Islanders team that
I don't know if that's the team you're going to break out
if
against.
you get a lead, shut it right down. They're able to just clamp right down, and so well coached by Barry Trotz.
Barry Trotz has done a phenomenal job. The structure, the detail that the Islanders play with, you can understand why they're winning, and they're very comfortable in a tight game. You watch them defend in their own zone. They're comfortable with the other team having the puck the outside. They're not worried about puck possession time. They just clamp it down, and they work. They all play under this blanket of structure that Barry Trotz has put out for his team, which has been successful. The Islanders are dangerous. They're quietly very dangerous. They've been able to get the offense they've needed. Certain guys, Barzal's a young star. Beauvillier's been excellent. Anders Lee, Brock. They've got good pieces, and they've got a real strong defense core. Adam Pelech, Ryan Pulock, real good on the back end. Nick Leddy. They've got some real good pieces to that team, and they play. If you try to open it up, if you try to cheat the game a little bit, they're going to make you pay. They frustrate teams, and that's what they've been able to do. And for the Flyers, who you mentioned, Dave, need to get Giroux, Voracek, Couturier, Hayes, all those guys going. It's been tough for them, and maybe not the team they want to try and attempt it against is the New York Islanders.
An update from that game, Shane. Sean Couturier did score earlier in the game for the Flyers, but J.G. Pajot has just given the Islanders a 2-1 lead.
He's been great, too. I forgot about him.
He's been fantastic. Scored his seventh, J.G. Pajot, 7 goals now in the playoffs for the Islanders. Talk about two goaltenders, Semyon Varlamov. So they're playing back-to-back.
Yeah.
And it is the backups that are going tonight, right? Thomas Greiss for the Islanders, Brian Elliott going for the Flyers. But for the most part, it's been Semyon Varlamov who's been really good for the Islanders. Got pulled, I know, earlier in the series. But the bigger picture and bigger body of work is he's been excellent. So you look at the Islanders, and if they, still a lot of time left, under 12 minutes, but a 1-goal lead is usually all they need.
Usually all they need.
Yeah.
It's maybe at times not the most exciting brand of hockey. I enjoy it because I love watching the way they play as a team. It can be, I guess, frustrating as I've used that word, maybe overused it at this point, but that's really what it is if you're the opposition, and now you got to try and break through, and they just kind of sit back, and they're so comfortable just to defend, and we'll see where this goes. But yeah, the Islanders looking to put the press here on the Philadelphia Flyers, who were the #1 seed in the East, and at that time everybody said, watch out, the Flyers. That's why I hate predictions. It's so hard to predict in this league. It really is.
Well, you've got the team that was #1 in the West in the Blues. They're out.
Yeah.
They're done. You've got the team that was #1 in the league in Boston that is down 3-1. You got the Flyers that were the first seed in the East after the round robin. They could be down 3-1 when it's all over. The Golden Knights have been doing pretty good for themselves so
and
far.
they got a tough task tonight, a big one.
Long way to go. Let's take a quick look once again at what this series stands right now, and then how the rest of this series will lay out for you. Of course, getting set for Game 4 between the Golden Knights and the Vancouver Canucks at Rogers Place in Edmonton. The Golden Knights winning by shutout in Game 1 and Game 3. Curious to see the Canucks. They showed the ability, without question, to bounce back in Game 2 against the Golden Knights. And we've mentioned, Shane, look, this is a team that they won the first 2 games against St. Louis. The Blues stormed back with all that experience in their championship team from last year to pull even in the series at 2 games apiece. And all the Canucks did was come right back and win Game 5 and win Game 6 and knock off the defending champs.
And that's what they'll look to. They'll look at that ability. They were able to come back against the Blues. They're able to respond. They did it in Game 2. They're going to try and do it in Game 4. Heard earlier there might that will wait till game time. Tyler Myers might be an addition on the blue line, which would be a huge addition for the Vancouver Canucks, a big 6'7" defenseman. If they get him back healthy, we'll wait and see when the lines do come out. But for the Golden Knights, their focus is on their game. I still believe Vegas can go out, execute their game plan, play to their strengths, play with speed, get the pace, the physicality, all those elements that make them successful. They get to it, they'll win the game.
2 lineup changes once again for the VGK. Marc-Andre Fleury in net and John Merrill in on the back end for Nick Holden. So glad you could join us here tonight for our VGK pregame show as we get you set for Game 4 between the Golden Knights and the Vancouver Canucks. Thanks for tuning in on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. Golden Knights and the Canucks closing in on the opening faceoff of Game 4. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next time.
The Vegas Golden Knights and Vancouver Canucks back at it tonight in Game 4 of their Round 2 series as the Stanley Cup playoffs continue. Hey everybody, I'm Stormy Bonantoni. Welcome into Fortress at Home once again. For those of you who are joining us for the very first time, I want you to know we really love for this show to be interactive. I've already seen a bunch of you guys using that hashtag Fortress at Home, and I want to see more of it. I'm looking for pictures of your dogs in VGK gear. I want some Vegas-born babies. I want to know what you guys are eating. I've got some high chews with me today. This is going to be my game day snack of choice. Tell me what you guys are eating. What are your at-home concessions? Show us what your Fortress at Home looks like. Of course, we wish that we could all be in T-Mobile right now, but something else that's really cool that the NHL is doing right now is during the warm-ups, if you use the hashtag NHL warm-ups as well, your pictures or comments or posts could be shown up on the big screens in Rogers Place in Edmonton, so the team can actually physically see your support in the arena. So make sure you're using those hashtags Fortress at Home and NHL warm-ups. Of course, a pivotal Game 4 ahead tonight for the Golden Knights after a big bounce-back win last night with a 3-0 win. It was the VGK's second shutout of this series. Robin Lehner was in net for both of those, but tonight, as you may have heard if you were tuning into the pregame show, Marc-Andre Fleury will earn the start. It will be his third start this postseason if you include the round robin. His last game came 2 weeks ago in the first game of a back-to-back against the Chicago Blackhawks. He had 26 saves on 27 shots. A great game for him. And just a little fun nugget here for you. If you don't know, Marc-Andre Fleury famously has some pretty good history against the Canucks. He has not lost a game in regulation to Vancouver since 2006. So don't tell me that I'm, jinxing anything. I'm just letting you know. I'm just giving you information. That's what I'm here for. Nuggets for you, the people, because I love you. Also, just another little lineup adjustment is Nick Holden will not be playing today. Instead, Johnny Merrill will be checking in the last D pair alongside Zach Whitecloud. A big game ahead tonight. And if we were at the Fortress right now, I think we all know what we would be doing. We would be getting to our seats, we would be listening to the music, and we would be getting hype. And the best way to do that is with this mix from DJ Joe Green. So let's do it. Get up out your chairs, people.
Are y'all ready to make some noise? Are y'all ready to make some noise? Are y'all ready to make some noise? 1, 2, 3, come on! Don't stop, get it, 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 don't stop. If you came to party, let me see your hands up. If you came to party, let me see your hands up.
Save, repeat.
Hey everyone, Game 4 between the Golden Knights and the Vancouver Canucks. Golden Knights up 2-1. Shane, they've won twice in this series, both via shutouts, Game 1 and Game 3. A couple of quick goals in the first period last night, then a goal in the second, and that proved to be enough to win Game 3.
Well, it really did. When you look back at that first period, Vancouver, Travis Green, their head coach, thought that was their best. Yet the Golden Knights, great penalty killing, great goaltending, and some quick offense from Tuch and Whitecloud. Alex Tuch now leading the team with 7 goals in 4 straight games for him. He's been on fire for Vegas, but I think it was just a real solid defensive effort. I like the way the Golden Knights shut it down in the second and third period. Complete team effort again. They need to take that into tonight's game.
Pete DeBoer did not announce any lineup decisions this morning, including in net, so we'll see whether Marc-Andre Fleury gets the call on the back end of back-to-back games. Now the Canucks, Shane, especially in Game 2, some of their best players were heard of. They were big parts of the win in Game 2. Kept off the board again in Game 3, but they try to get back in this and tie the series tonight.
Well, and we saw how that team bounced back for Game 2. A lot better effort than they had in Game 1. And Game 3 was like Game 1. Their top players were kept off the score sheet, and that's exactly what the Golden Knights want to do. I think their forecheck, and the key to that for the Golden Knights of keeping Vancouver at bay is their ability to break out the puck. They didn't allow Vancouver to get on the forecheck, but we'll see if the Canucks have a response here tonight.
Game 4, Golden Knights and the Canucks as the Golden Knights try to go up 3-1.
Series tied at a game apiece. Here's Tyler Mott in. Mott will shoot and stop, rebound, and he sent that wide as Robin Leonard doesn't flinch.
Leads his man, Tuch all alone, he shoots, and he scores! What a setup, Watt to Tuch once again. Vegas takes a 1-0 lead 4 minutes into the game.
Carlson took the puck away from Hughes. Pacioretty drops it off for Whitecloud, a shot, he scores! Turns to Theodore, and then Stone with a shot, he scores! He goes top shelf to beat Markstrom on the power play. The Golden Knights take a 3-0 lead.
It's all over. It's another shutout for Robin Leonard. And Vegas leads the series 2-1.
Tonight's starting lineup is presented by City National Bank. Here are your Vegas Golden Knights starters. First at the forward positions, number 28, William Carrier. Number 20, Chandler Stevenson. And number 75, Ryan Reeves. And on defense, number 15, John Merrill. And number 2, Zed Whitecloud. And in goal tonight, he's number 29. He's Marc-Andre Fleury. And now to present O Canada and our national anthem, please welcome Lenny Myers and Golden Pipes, Carnell Johnson.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I'm so excited for this one, y'all. She just opened her Let's Go residency at Zappos Theater to a sold-out weekend. She's back Wednesday through the 18th. She is the top-selling female artist in country music. We're talking 100 million, y'all. Give it up for Shania Twain! Shania, you got a big job, girl. Let her rip. Let's go.
Scoreless in Edmonton as we welcome you back here to hashtag Fortress at Home. Thanks so much. We are getting so much use out of that hashtag online already. Wanted to begin our shout outs today to Ginger X, who basically has created her own little Nitron in her Fortress at Home. She's got the scoreboard going. It's like beautifully displayed. So make sure you keep a look on this little area over here for it to come up on tag board. Also, Rick Gutierrez, who won first star of the night in last night's game, is already starting the evening back strong with a VGK fan who's pretty new. His name's Baby Yoda. Very cool. And asking you shall receive. Loving all of the pictures of our VGK animals. Roland and Angela Brown sharing their pups. Also, Callie the Yorkie Poo. And thanks to Daggett97 on Twitch, asking people for their predictions. Who's going to get the scoring started? Riley Smith seems to be the most trending name so far on Twitch. But what about you guys on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube? Who do you think will get on the board first? Time for a little Caddyshack dance cam, people. Let's have some fun. Get hype.
At your age, I would lug 50 pounds of ice up 5, 6 flights of stairs.
So what?
So what? So let's dance.
Your Golden Knights are on the NV Energy! All right, Emily, I'm gonna need you to put those, there you go. Now just hang on, I got you. We're about to play What's in the Box up at the Castle Big D, my friend Emily, and it's her birthday. Fortress, say happy birthday. Good work. All right, Emily, right there, not yet. Now this side. And you gotta tell me what that item is. You can find it downstairs in the armory. What do you think that is? You guess it?
A toque.
A toque. She's got it. Next item, please. Pull your hands out. And back in. What's that?
Like one of those figurines.
Can you guess who it is?
Oh, Marc-Andre Fleury?
No, try one more time. Maybe a little yellow.
William Karlsson.
Not the hair, the whole body.
Oh, Chance.
Chance, there we go. Another item. She's got 2 prizes so far. Hands back in. Let's see what you got. What is it?
A bracelet?
Try again. A little lower on the body, maybe by your feet.
An anklet? A shoelace?
Yes! All right. She's going for the clean sweep. All these prizes available in the armory. Holy cow, how do I even do this? Try that part right there. What do you think that is?
Oh, a stuffed animal?
What kind?
A mascot?
Starts with an R? Right.
I don't know.
Fortress, help her out. It's a rye.
A rhino?
It's a rhino! Clean sweep! You can take those off. Happy birthday, Emily. All those gifts, I'd like to say they're gifts from us, but you won them. They're yours. Congratulations.
What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? Right? Brad Pitt. 7. Nothing.
time to defend the fortress. That means your Golden Knights are on the Ed Bernstein penalty kill.
Snowball.
2-1 Golden Knights as we welcome you back here to the hashtag Fortress at Home. That go-ahead goal by the stick of Chandler Stevenson. A lot of reason for excitement so far in this game. And one reason that we're excited every game at the Fortress, no matter what, is the Vegas-born artist of the game presented by Cranks Audio. And it's a way that we're able to bring homegrown music to the home crowd at the Fortress. And tonight with Fortress at Home, we're actually bringing it back into your home. Take a listen to Kaylee Foster's In My Head.
Somehow there's nothing left. The secret's out from me. You can't. What more could be? I said, my dear, it's all in my head. You got to hold on me, but baby, what can't you see? All the happiness inside of me. It's all in my head. You got to hold on me, but baby, why can't you see? These chains around me. It's all in my head.
Hey, Knights fans, can I get a woo? You.
Credit one to go in the period.
Hey everybody, welcome into our hashtag Fortress at Home first intermission report. This scoring summary is brought to you by Southwest Medical Associates. Your Vegas Golden Knights lead this one 2-1 after one. Your shots on goal today are presented by Quest Diagnostics. The Vancouver Canucks had 11 shots on goal, while the Vegas Golden Knights had 8. And I wanted to give one quick shout out to Gary Beller and Silly Jilly 530 because apparently you guys were making snack plans for Fortress at Home on Twitch messages, even though you're in the same house together. And that's just social media dedication, and I appreciate it tonight on hashtag Fortress at Home, but not nearly as much as I appreciate Mike McKenna being back in studio with us today.
What a throw. Oh, I'm so happy to be back. This is fantastic. It's a nice tradition that we have going now.
Yes, I'm liking it, and I'm liking your get-up right now.
Well, digging deep into the VGK archives, went to throw a hat on, didn't really think about the lighting in Studio 31. It's a little high, so might not do that one again. But yeah, all VGK today.
What was the hat inspo?
Well, I've seen Baby Yoda on the hashtag Fortress at Home in a couple of instances. So, you know, I was just going to try to do the Yoda voice. I can't do it very well. Wear a hat, you see. Or
That was incredible.
It was terrible.
It was something. It was something. You know what else was something? Gosh, I'm just killing the transitions right now. And I mean killing in a bad way. But something else was going on the ice in that first period. Like I said before, the Vegas Golden Knights leading this one 2-1. What are your initial thoughts on the opening 20 minutes?
Well, it's entertaining to say the least.
For sure.
2-1. Special teams were involved up and down the ice. Shots are pretty even both ways, but really some strong play from the VGK, especially Shea Theodore. I know we'll get into him in a little bit, but from the forwards, from the defense, from the power play, I got to see a little bit of everything that period and some nice saves from Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah, I wanted to get into the special teams a little bit because both of those early goals were scored on the team's respective power plays. For the Golden Knights, great to see them, be active and go 1-for-1 right off the bat, but then it kind of happened on the reverse as well.
Yeah, unfortunately. But what was interesting about the power play for the Golden Knights was that Max Pacioretty was shooting the puck from an area that we don't usually look to from him. A lot of times
we're used to him on that right circle.
Exactly, you got it. So where Mark Stone was today is usually where you'll think that you're going to see Max Pacioretty. That's his trigger point, loves to shoot the puck from there, one-timer, walking in. Well, it's a little different look to put him on the other side, and now Mark Stone scores last game from that position. Vancouver's now looking to Mark Stone a little bit more. Jonathan Marchessault's a decoy in the middle of the ice at the hash marks. Stone gives an unbelievable pass over to Pacioretty.
Beautiful no-looker.
Exactly, and it's a saucer too, beauty. And then Pacioretty has the smarts to say, hey, goalies know the book on me is I love to bring it high and hard. And he goes floor bomb right on the ice, 5-hole on Markstrom. It's a great shot. And it's also smart too because when it's low like that, it's a better chance of creating a rebound and potentially getting it through and not getting it blocked.
On the kill, the Golden Knights coming into this game had killed off 18 of their last 19, and then we see Vancouver score right off the bat from Elias Pettersson. What did you see on that kill, although it was very quick?
It didn't last very long, did it? Right. Well, it's exactly what you fear when you're facing the Canucks. JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, Quinn Hughes, they're all really adept at moving it quickly, and you've got to be able to seal lanes on them. And the Golden Knights got a little bit too focused on Miller down low, and they allowed the lane to open up to Pettersson on the backside, and that's where he's most dangerous, whether he's one-timing the puck on a pass from Hughes at the top or whether he's receiving a pass like this from Miller. When it's on his blade and he's inside the top of the circle, he's dangerous. And then, there's a little bit of a screen from McNabb, who's going straight at Pettersson, and Fleury can't pick it up, and it's in the net. So it's just the matter of sealing lanes and taking away that time and space. And the Golden Knights have been so good at it, but not in this instance.
Fortunately, though, the VGK were able to be quick to respond. You mentioned right off the top Shea Theodore being a force.
Wow.
He had assists
Wow.
on both of the goals tonight.
Yep.
6-game point streak now. I wrote it down. He's had a goal and 8 assists in the last 6 games. Leads the team now with 12 points, or is it 13? 13 points now this postseason.
Baker's dozen. That's a Baker's
Baker's
dozen. Anybody out there in
love
Fortress
it.
at home,
I love
please type in if you know what that's from. That'll make a Baker's dozen. I know someone out there knows what it is. Do you?
I've got a lot happening right now.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't know what that one's from, but I
Okay,
do
so
like
let's circle
Baker's
back to
dozens.
Shea.
Okay,
I'll
allow it.
Shea's having a fantastic period, fantastic game, fantastic postseason.
For real.
He's been unleashed. He's skating with the puck. He's making outlet passes. And that play that he had on Stevenson's goal, up in the play, he takes a pass initially from Stevenson, gets it back to him, but it's because he's in stride, because he's joining the play. And he's just so deadly with his passes. Like, he doesn't miss very often. He's got such good game feel to it. It's so impressive to watch a young player like that grow into themselves before our eyes, because he continues to get better and better and better.
He really has just progressed all year long, especially after, the bizarre, it seems like so long ago now, but the bizarre, difficult to deal with off season that he had last year, of course, dealing with his cancer diagnosis and everything, being a little bit behind the 8 ball starting the season, but he's come into his own, and it's been really, really incredible to watch.
It's fun to see,
It is.
and it just, you wonder where the ceiling is for him, because I don't think we've seen it yet. And I refer to Shane Knighty a lot when we talk, because he's such a good barometer of defensemen. I'm an old goalie, so we've got a little skewed in what we see a lot of times, but Shane really, really believes that we could be seeing a Norris contender in Shea Theodore.
Wow. I hope so. I certainly hope so.
I do
for
too.
Shea.
I'm sure the fans do as well.
A young gun, as they say. And we talked about his assist there on that Chandler Stevenson goal. Stevenson was knocking at the door earlier in the game as well on that wraparound try.
Yep.
That fourth line seemed to be buzzing a little bit.
They're rolling, yeah, and their speed's on display. The chance that you referred to is Stevenson, again, because he's so quick around the net. The second goal for the Golden Knights, though, man, Ryan Reeves, a devastating hit on Quinn Hughes. He's hearing footsteps, so it's causing turnovers. It allows the Golden Knights to go the other direction with the puck. Theodore's involved. Martinez is involved. And Will Carrier, who doesn't get an assist on the play, he's just as important, though, because he's driving the net. He's creating traffic that's helping take the Vancouver defenseman out of the play to open that lane for Chandler Stevenson, and that great pass from Theodore. If that pass isn't on the blade, Stevenson's not able to get it off as quickly as he did. He didn't have to fumble with it at all. Bang, bang, off the tape and in the net.
What's the difference for the Golden Knights now going into this intermission up 2-1 versus it being tied at 1?
Well, it's, you carry a little momentum with it, and you also have that feeling now that, hey, we're in the lead. We control this game. We are the ones who can dictate everything if we need to. You're very cognizant that you don't want to sit in the box by any stretch. You want to be able to continue to roll your 4 lines. So you're going to see the first shift, the first 5 minutes of the Golden Knights trying to continue that momentum and keep it in their favor and just not make any unforced mistakes. If they can limit those and not let Vancouver in the game.
Well, you knew I couldn't let you out of this intermission without talking goalies.
Why? I guess I'm an old one.
It doesn't happen. Pete DeBoer, though, did elect to go with Marc-Andre Fleury tonight instead of Robin Lehner after a great shutout last night. What have you thought of him so far, and were you surprised at all by the decision to have Marc-Andre Fleury in net?
No, not surprised at all. A back-to-back scenario we saw last series against Chicago. Now it was flip-flop. Marc-Andre Fleury played the first game of the back-to-back. with a couple days off and also with the extended time between, I wasn't surprised that Robin played the first game of this. I would have been surprised if they did not split, though. And part of that, though, is just that it's mostly the history of what the team's done so far, saying we've got a plan and we're sticking to it. If they were just in that hot hand scenario, like people like to say, then you'd think, yeah, maybe we'll go back to Robin Lehner in the second game, because he did. He played phenomenal last night. But they're using fresh bodies. This is a long play to me. This is really looking forward to the series. And Marc-Andre's he's responded. Pettersson puts it right under the bar on a screenshot on the PK. You can't fault him on that. He's made a couple of saves and
Made that stop again on the Pettersson breakaway.
And the breakaway, the backhand shot. Thank you for bringing that up. And that was a big save late in the period to keep it at 2-1. It's a good sign. His hands are alive. His eyes are engaged.
Marc-Andre Fleury, he's had some, I mentioned this in the pregame, but he's had some success against Vancouver in his career.
And he's still swaggy in that gold gear. I love it. He doesn't even practice in it, and he just pulls it out for games. It's like he's pulling out the secret weapon. I'm going to the gold gear. And he does. He does have that history. Well, I mean, both goalies do. Like, Marc-Andre has that history against Vancouver of never losing in regulation in, 14 years I think it is.
January 2006.
It's a lie. I mean, it was longer than my career. And then Robin Lehner, every time he has beaten the Vancouver Canucks, donuts. I mean, I'd take that. It's pretty good, right?
Yeah, definitely. Plus but the gold pads, it matches your sparkly shirt right
now. It is,
really
I mean, it's bedazzled. I guess we couldn't say bedazzled. But it's definitely got
sparkles.
sparkles.
No, not bedazzled, but yeah, glitter.
What I like about this, though, is it doesn't seem to rub off. When my daughters wear sparkly things around the house and their dresses rub off, the Disney ones, it's tough on me.
Well, you have a sparkling personality, so it
thank
just makes
Thank
sense.
you.
Thanks,
Thank
Mike.
you. I'm just trying to keep up.
Appreciate your time,
Anytime.
as always. And I don't know if you guys are hungry, but I'm hungry dragon?
Oh, yeah, it's time for a fun game we like to call Hungry Dragons. We got 3 teams on the ice. You can see them dressed up in their dragon onesies. One's gonna eat, one's gonna push. Whoever ends up with the most balls at the end of the game is taking home the prize. Katie Marie is gonna introduce who we got on the ice. Who we got, Katie?
All right, on Big D's team, we have the green team of April and Jordan. On the red team, which is with Mark, we have Mike and Edelyn. And on my team, the teal team, we have Francine and Kiana.
Fortress, count it down with me. 3, 2, 1, and go! The hungry dragons are feeding. Let's go.
They can only bring the balls back to their station with the little container. My red team is struggling. I'm just gonna call it out. They are struggle bussing it right now.
I don't know, teal team
This is good.
killing it right now.
Well, my team is doing great so far, Mark. I'm pretty proud of how they're performing over here.
That's way to be supportive, Big D.
You guys are doing good. Come on, red team.
We got 20 more seconds left.
You're doing good. Swing them back.
We'll get a count on the balls. Five seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. All righty, let's count up the balls. Big D's trying to throw balls into his box. How many we got for the green team?
Total is 12.
12. How many we got on the red team? 32 for the red team.
Oh, the teal team's got 38. Congratulations to Francine and Kiana from the teal team. You're going home with a prize back from Toyota. Congratulations, guys.
Loud and clear. Middle. You got good playoff stats. 1 for 1, eh? What's the first one?
1 post up, 2 cross.
We'll let someone else go first here. Oh, so I actually did it right. What's the third one? What did the third guy do? Oh! You get any good? Oh! Oh! Hey, sorry about that pass down there.
Handled it.
You can't give a good player a bad pass. It's so fun to watch, man. They just snap around.
Got it!
What?
Hey, you got a foot.
Yeah, I know. I just felt that. Thanks for coming. Yeah, I won't tell coach how bad your practice was.
Yeah, I heard you went up, so that's why you're trying to be awesome all the time. But thanks.
Who's hooked up to this thing? Hey, what are you doing? Get out of here. It's our power play. Oh! Oh, Johnny! Is he getting good? Ah! Man, there's no way he's saving that. That's a wrap, guys. Thanks for listening.
We're out here at the Doc Pearson Community Center for a Paul and Patch's Pals event. Paul Stastny and Max Pacioretty are both out here teaching some fun youth street hockey. Let's check it out.
Obviously come from Montreal, you never meet a kid that never played hockey, so to come in a gym full of kids that have never played and then at the end say they're looking forward to playing again is really special. Being able to, come out here in Vegas and kind of expand the game is meaningful to us and a big reason why we've done this.
We've been so fortunate that this game's given to us, and as you get older you realize, it's about kind of, sharing the wealth of knowledge that you have and trying to share the spread of joy this game has given us to others.
Way out in the land of the setting sun, where the wind blows wild and free, there's a lovely spot, just the only one that means home, sweet home to me. If you follow the old Kit Carson trail till the desert meets the hills, oh, you certainly will agree with me, it's the place of 1,000 thrills. Home means Nevada, home means the hills, home means the sage and the pine, out by the Truckee silvery rills, out where the sun always shines. Here is the land that I love the best, fairer than all I can see. She's deep in the heart of the Golden West. Home means Nevada to me. One more time now. Home means Nevada to me.
Hanging out up at the castle with my little buddy Johnny Christopher, and you might have heard of his dad before. He's a pretty awesome guy, pretty big deal on the Vegas Strip. Got a brand new show in Planet Hollywood. Give it up for Chris Angel! Chris, you're no stranger to making this thing scream, brother. Let's see what you got. Straight from inside.
The second period is brought to you by Toyota. It's Toyota time.
I am up here in the castle with Jeff, who is wearing a flawless golden jacket to play What Happens Next, courtesy of our friends at Toyota. So how this is gonna go down, I'm gonna play a clip on Nitron, and you're gonna tell me what happens next. Pretty straightforward?
Yeah, all good.
All good indeed. Take a look at Nitron for the first clip. Here we go. Ooh, swaying back and forth. What happens next? She's out of there, or she's caught safely? Now, a little tip. Remember who's presenting tonight's game. Is it A or B?
It's A. She's out of there.
He's going with A. She's out of there. Let's see what happens next. Oh, she's caught safely. Here we go. Clip number 2. Oh, that looks like A, ankles turn into whey protein, or B, super slick landing. A or B?
I'm gonna go with B. He's gonna stick it.
He's gonna stick it. Let's roll the tape. Boom! B, you are a winner on that one. 1 for 1. Here we go. Number 3. A little snowboarding in the air. A, straight to the moon, or B, a totally rad landing, dude.
It's his day. B, a rad landing.
Rad landing for the win and a Toyota prize pack. What do we got? Totally rad landing. Jeff in the gold coat, you are a winner tonight. You get this awesome prize pack right there, courtesy of our friends at Toyota. Dude, this jacket, flawless. That's what happens next.
Penalty on the ice, and we are tied at 2 as we welcome you back to the hashtag Fortress at Home. I wanted to get to a few of your guys' comments and shout-outs. Daggett97 out there gifting subs again for the second night of this back-to-back. You're doing it 2 nights in a row, man. We appreciate you. Loves to drink, also doing the same. Smarterick 1989 subscribed on Twitch, so welcome to our VGK Twitch family. Janine Sterling on Twitter took a picture with the girls out there about like 15-20 feet to my right out here against the Vegas-born background. They have been at like every single one of these playoff games watching in Mackenzie River, and we love and appreciate all of your support. Katie Wachter? I don't want to pronounce your name, so people butcher my name all the time, so I feel you. I'm sorry. But your post of this game is so stressful. I feel ya. Tied at 2, but the VGK are coming out strong, guys. I can feel it. Now, guys, we have a very important message from a prolific, world-renowned actor. Message just for you guys. Enjoy.
Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make noise!
Time to defend the fortress. That means your Golden Knights are on the Ed Bernstein penalty kill.
Hey everybody, remember we've got a lot to talk about coming up on the intermission report, and Mike McKenna is back with a He's like, pay attention, man.
Oh, man. I'm into the game right now.
He's going to be back with us at intermission. So if you have any questions, make sure you send them to us, get in the chat, and use the hashtag Fortress at home. And remember, don't be cruel.
Golden Knights fans, please welcome a very special performance of your Golden Bells, presented by Flamingo. One more time for your Golden Bells, presented by the Flamingo Hotel.
Time to defend the Fortress. That means your Golden Knights are on the Ed Bernstein penalty kill. Credit one to go in the period.
Well, hard to believe, guys, but the first lead change of the series taking place there in the second period. This scoring summary presented by Southwest Medical Associates, the Vancouver Canucks, with a score of 3-2 with your Vegas Golden Knights. The shots on goal in the second period presented by Quest Diagnostics. The Vancouver Canucks had 12 shots on goal for a two-period total of 20, and the Vegas Golden Knights had 15 shots on goal for a two-period total of 26. A lot to break down after 40 minutes, and thankfully we have Mike McKenna back in studio to help us with it here on #Fortress at Home. And Mike, I'm trying to remember the last time the Golden Knights weren't on the penalty kill because it's been a while.
It's too much in the second period.
Too much.
They gave up 3 power plays. They were on the kill 3 times that period. And even though the Golden Knights did generate some great chances and Jacob Markstrom was very good, they allow a power play goal against. They're 0 for 2 on the power play at that point. Now they're 2 for 4. But anytime you do that, you're taking away ice time from all 4 of your lines. You're having to delegate it out to different players, and you're just taking away your ability to play in Vancouver's zone and to dictate the game the way you want to.
Yeah, 5 penalties in this game, 4 of them on the VGK. 3 of them coming in that period. And I wonder, is this kind of what we were really expecting earlier on from Vancouver, given how good that they have been on when it comes to drawing penalties and it comes to having success on the power play?
Yeah, in some ways, but 2 of the penalties are stick penalties too. A high sticking, a hooking. Those are avoidable penalties. And you just have to work harder to get body position and not allow yourself to have to use your stick to try to get into somebody's hands to get the puck away from them. Anytime in today's game your stick gets parallel to the other player, there's a good chance you're going to sit in the box. So it just comes down to working hard and trying to keep your gaps close and just not giving them time and space. And you can't sit in the box like this. When the Golden Knights play disciplined hockey, they control the game. And for stretches of that second period, Vancouver was in control of it.
Well, and especially on a night, too, where Vancouver's best players are showing up and they're being their best players.
Yeah, look at the goals that they've scored. Who's involved in it? JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, Quinn Hughes, Bo Horvat, Tyler Toffoli. Should we keep going? They're involved. Those are the people that have scored the goals, had the assists on all of them. Granted, 2 of those are on the power play. You would expect that. But you have to stop your opposition's best players. You have to. It's the same game plan that the Canucks have playing against the Vegas Golden Knights. They're looking at Pacioretty and Stone and thinking they have to stop them. That's why we look at Alex Tuch's line, the third line, to be such an X factor. You're looking for those mismatches. So the Golden Knights are going to have to do a much better job of controlling Vancouver's best players in the third period.
Quinn Hughes, obviously one of those guys, very involved. He's got assists on 2 of the 3 goals there. It seems like for the Golden Knights, it's been kind of hit and miss against Quinn Hughes in the series.
And part of that, too, again, it goes to penalties, right? It's hard to hit when you're in the box. But what you saw that period from Quinn Hughes is what he's so good at, and that's 1, power play, and 2, transition. he's allowed to skate the puck through the neutral zone, gets through it with the puck on his stick. He sets up that goal to Toffoli in the slot. You got to get a piece of his body when he's coming through the neutral zone. You've got to make him pay the price. And he was too elusive that period at several occasions.
One question that I saw coming through the boards was, I don't even think it was directed at us, but a question nonetheless, from Logan Rivkin said, "We have no defense? Question mark? What happened to the Golden Knights defense?"
Well, we do. We have 6 of them and a goaltender too. But there has been times where the Vancouver Canucks have been behind the Vegas Golden Knights defense. You don't want to see blue jerseys behind yours, much less 1 or 2. You look at Horvat's goal. Yes, the puck's deflected high by Miller on the way into Marc-Andre Fleury. But Schmidt and McNabb are starting to move out of the play as it comes. And next thing you know, you've got 2 players in behind them, and Marc-Andre Fleury's on an island.
So how did that happen?
Well, it's just when the puck goes high to low like that, sometimes if you're not communicating and you think you're going to get a beat on the puck and be able to transition up ice, you can lose your position sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so both of them started to go a little bit, and just 2 or 3 feet difference can be huge when it comes to that. And even if you have to get back to the net, though, you got to get sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've got to lift the opponent's sticks. It's not the old days where you just come in and bulldoze them. You got to lift their stick, not let them get a shot on goal.
Obviously, we've seen pucks get to the net on both sides so far tonight, but in that period, both goalies also with some pretty incredible saves as well.
Well, think of that glove save that Marc-Andre Fleury made on Pettersson in the
It's
slot.
like Cirque du Soleil over there.
Oh, I mean, I watch those and I just go, well, there's a reason why I didn't play very long in the NHL. I mean, it's classic Fleury. He's got very good eyes when it comes to making saves, right? He gets his eyes on it, he rotates, he pushes, and he makes the glove save. And the coolest part of that save is, if you watch it again, he makes it, but it doesn't go in his webbing right off the bat. He actually juggled it and then turns his body underneath to catch it, swipe it, and corral that puck. I mean, the hand-eye that you have to do that while moving is unbelievable. And yes, at the other end too, Jacob Markstrom robbing Jonathan Marchessault on that rebound opportunity. Nate Schmidt on the backside as well. So despite the score being 3-2 right now, we have seen some pretty amazing saves.
I did want to get your thoughts on that Mark Stone play where the Golden Knights are able to get the puck and stay in the zone, and then the hands like in front of the net. It was beautiful. It didn't go in the net, obviously, but I mean, a beautiful opportunity there.
When I watch Mark Stone and being teammates with him previously, you'd see this a lot in practice, but at times it's almost like he's playing lacrosse on the ice. That's a benefit to his game, and the way he attacks the net is he's got such a wide stance, yet he can move the puck a great distance. And that's really the underlying key to his game, is moving the puck. Not necessarily passing, but just changing the angles to create it. And he did that all in stride too. Back, forth, and then he nearly went behind the line and stuffed it in. I mean, it's a great save by Markstrom to seal it off, but wow, sick play from Stone.
Okay, so if you're in the Golden Knights dressing room right now, what's the conversation? Can you give us a little insight as to what you think's going on there?
Well, I think right off the bat it's going to be saying, hey, we got to stay out of the box. That's going to be the first thing said, but it doesn't have to be hammered in, because during the period on the bench, I have a funny feeling Pete DeBoer was probably saying something to that effect as well. So, it'll be reiterated, but they're going to have to work for their goals, and they cannot give Vancouver anything this period. So that's what the constant theme in the locker room is going to be. We need to control this period. We can't give them anything. Don't throw pucks away. Make sure that we're playing our game north as quick as we can, support the puck, and make short, quick passes so we can get through the neutral zone quickly.
This is the first time this series that we've seen a game at this point that's close. It's a little bit bizarre, I feel like. The Golden Knights obviously very dominant in Game 1, very dominant in Game 3 on the scoreboard. And then Game 2, the reverse of fate, Vancouver comes out with a 5-2 win, but it's a 3-2 game right now. First lead change of the series, which is a little bit bizarre.
Well, and here's the thing about playoffs. You've got to learn to win different ways. You have to win different ways, not just learn to. So, if the Golden Knights are able to come from behind tonight, down a 3-2 deficit, get it tied up, get the win, even if they have to go to overtime, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Pulling off those wins, you become battle hardened. I've had those times in playoffs where, one team I played for in Texas, we just kept winning these overtime games, and we just kept getting better and better because we learned how to take that and use it during the regulation play too. So I'm sure the Golden Knights don't want to go to overtime. I mean, but
yes, they
you know,
prefer not to do that.
right, get it done in regulation if you can.
Of course.
But that's going to be it. You cannot give Vancouver anything. You've got to learn to pull out these wins out of games where you're maybe not playing your best at times.
Well, and of course, a 3-1, 3-1 advantage in the
nice
series is a
carrot
lot
at the
better
end,
than
isn't
a
it?
2-2.
Right.
I know that obviously this is a Golden Knights intermission report, but one thing that we talked about before we came on air today that we definitely wanted to make sure we were sharing with you guys, the fans, was Oscar Lindblom today for the Philadelphia Flyers, who was diagnosed earlier during this regular season with a very rare form of bone cancer, Ewing sarcoma, was out on the ice for warm-ups with the Flyers today.
It's amazing. You know, I was teammates with him last year in Philadelphia. Amazing kid. And to be diagnosed early in a season, to go through chemotherapy that just wrecked him too, really, really hard. To come back, to ring the bell, walking out of the hospital, to get that clearance of it being in remission. And now, with the pause and everything, he's playing in the same season. He hasn't stepped foot on the ice yet for a game, but to even take warm-ups, what a boost for that team. I mean, I know they didn't win today, but just on the human level, awesome. It's so nice to see.
Fantastic story, but like just a really, really incredible.
It is.
I'm so happy for him. I don't even know him personally. I can't imagine being
you would
in
like
your
him.
shoes.
He's a very kind young Swedish man, and he's awesome. He's a big part of the locker room in Philly. And very much like, you know, Shea Theodore is kind of a similar thing with Vegas, even though he didn't have to battle it during the season.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that, Mike. Really appreciate it. And we've got a special intermission throwback for you now, but a lot more game action to come in the final 20 minutes.
Katie Marie and Big Z over here with our good friend Ethan, and we're getting ready to play a little game called Find the Gecko, presented by our good friends at Geico. How do we play?
Yeah, we got a prize pack on the line. Now, do me a favor. Ethan, you think you got this?
Yeah.
All right, Tony's got one of the toughest gigs in the Fortress, so do me a favor. We're going to start on this side, okay? And Nitron, if you don't mind, could I get a countdown, please? We got the clock ready. 2 minutes to Find the Gecko starts now. Now, he knows how to move the camera. He knows how to zoom in and zoom out. He's focused. Tony might have shown him how to get the best shots. He's using the viewfinder, but then he's also looking outside the viewfinder. Tony, did you teach him that?
I did, yeah. He's been working all night.
Fortress, if you see the gecko, point at it. Help our friend Ethan out. Oh, there it is.
Oh, look at that! 31 seconds in, my man Ethan is a champion. Hey, Ethan, do me a favor. You're a big winner, my man. Congratulations, courtesy of our friends at Geico. Good work. Was it hard? No. Did we pay Tony too much?
Yeah.
Thanks to our friends at Geico. Tony, we love you. You know we're kidding. Come on now. Good work, Ethan.
And Theodore trying to shake away from Krause out high. Krause stays with him. Pacioretty in deep, shovels it down low, score! Stone at the right post on the backhand, has both goals for the Golden Knights, and they lead 2-1. Puck loose on the boards for Pacioretty, throws it towards the net, save Anderson, wraparound, chance from Stone, and he scores! Mark Stone back in Ottawa for the first time, has a goal and an assist tonight. It's 2-0 Golden Knights. Broken up at the blue line. Pacioretty on the move, has Stone. Stone to the net, backhand score! Mark Stone from Max Pacioretty. It took the Golden Knights 1 minute to take the lead. puck loose on the wing. Paul Stastny bearing down on Brent Burns. Here's Stone. Now Marchessault, wrist shot on a save. Jones. Rebound score! Unbelievable! Mark Stone, his 5th goal of the playoffs. Stone with Stastny and Pacioretty. Here's Stone to the net for the hat trick, and he scores! Mark Stone, the first hat trick of his career, as the hats rain down in Vegas.
Where it began, I can't begin to knowing, but then I know it's growing strong. Wasn't the spring, and spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet. Good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe there never was, but now I look at the night and the dawn seems so lonely. We fill it up with only two, and when I hurt, burden runs off my shoulders. How can I hurt when holding you? Warm, touching warm, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Good times never seem so good.
It's Vegas Golden Knights hockey. My question is, we know they're ready. Are you ready? Big D up in the castle, my buddy Mark Chinook, and not only is he a Las Vegas strip entertainer, he is an America's Got Talent champ. He performs at Harrah's, the House of Tape. Give it up for Tape Face. Are you ready to go? Mark, what did he say?
He said he's ready to go duck hunting.
Let's go, let's get loud up in here, Vegas!
May I have your attention, please?
Yeah, we about to shut it down. Yeah, we about to shut it down. Oh yeah, that's it. I said I'm about to shut it down. Yeah, we about to shut it
Nate Schmidt, Max Pacioretty, William Karlsson. Don't call it a comeback, people. Golden Knights now lead at 5-3 as we welcome you back to the hashtag Fortress at Home. Thanks so much to everybody for going wild with this third period already tonight. The Twitch chat is on fire. I am absolutely loving all of the William Karlsson emotes, and those are the ones everybody says I kind of look like. So I'm kind of liking those a lot. Excellent work here. Giustiani, who was watching in Maryland, said that you were hoping for a VGK comeback. I mean, it's happening, so good on ya. B- said this team chokes me up in a good way every single game. It's incredible. A lot of fun to watch, certainly right now. Elijah is Weird 10 on YouTube said, you're going to change into night skier. And I'm very confused as to why you have not been a night skier this entire time. But we got to get back to hockey, guys, because the VGK have a lead. So I will leave you there, but keep using that hashtag, Fortress at Home.
I want to talk about something.
All right.
I'd like to say something.
That means your Golden Knights are on the NV Energy!
Vegas, show us your Simbas, because it's time for the Simba Cam.
Stop touching things.
Time to defend the fortress. That means your Golden Knights are on the Ed Bernstein penalty kill. Credit one, 1 to go in regulation.
A big 3-goal third period for the VGK to get a comeback win tonight and take a 3-1 series lead against the Vancouver Canucks as the Stanley Cup playoffs continue. This final scoring summary presented by Southwest Medical Associates. The Vegas Golden Knights win this one 5-3. Your final shots on goal presented tonight by Quest Diagnostics. The Vancouver Canucks had 9 shots on goal in the third period for a total tonight of 29, and the Golden Knights had 8 shots on goal for a final total of 33. And you know what time it is when the VGK get a win in the postseason. It is Jumbo Jack time, so make sure that tomorrow you head over to your local Jack in the Box and let them know that the VGK won. You'll get a free Jumbo Jack with a purchase of a large drink. And now, the moment you have all been waiting for, aside from obviously a big win, your 3 stars of the night, presented by San Manuel Casino. Tonight's 3rd star is Smart Eric 1989 for subscribing on Twitch, a brand new Twitch member. We're so excited to have you in the VGK Twitch family. Tonight's 2nd star is Tony Macy on Twitter because you, my friend, correctly guessed our good friend Mike McKenna's Baker's Dozen joke. I didn't get it, but you did. The Bears. Appreciate you. And tonight's 1st star of the game, none other than Ginger X on Twitter. We absolutely loved your scoreboard. It had the goal horn, it had the goal scorers. It was just so sick. I want one in here. Way to bring the fire to your fortress at home. And everybody, thanks again for staying with us and staying in the conversation, being interactive, using the heck out of that hashtag Fortress at Home, sharing a little bit of your game day with us like we're trying to share it with you. It has been an amazing night tonight. Again, the Vegas Golden Knights win this one 5-3, and Marc-Andre Fleury now sole possession of 6th all-time in postseason wins. Congratulations to Flower for this victory, and congratulations to all of you as the Vegas Golden Knights continue their playoff push this postseason. We will be back. It's not goodbye. It's see you later, because we'll be back on Tuesday with more Fortress at Home at 6:45 Pacific time. You won't want to miss it. We'll see you then. Go Knights, go, baby.
Hey guys, it's Derek. Thanks for coming to the game and cheering us on all night long.
Merci Vegas, conduisez prudemment.
Thank you for being the best fans in hockey.
You rock the Fortress.
See you guys for the next battle at the Fortress.
Medieval Maniacs, we thank you.
From the Fortress to your home.
Good night, Vegas.
Now you'll never slime a guy with a positron collider, huh? All right, I'm opening a trap now. Don't look directly into the trap.
I looked at the trap, Ray.
Bring your screens off as soon as I close the trap. Get ready. I'm closing it. Now!
Well, that wasn't such a chore now, was it?
I love gold!
left the building.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.
Las Vegas with your neon flashing and the one-armed bandits crashing, all those homes down the drain. Fever Las Vegas turning day into nighttime, turning night into daytime. If you see it once, you'll never be the same again. I'm gonna keep on the run, I'm gonna have me some fun. It cost me my very last dime. If I wind up broke, well, I'll always remember that I